Hello. This is graphical user interface development using Lazarus and free Pascal, and this is part 19. If you're returning, welcome back. Well, today I decided that we're going to add a new window, and most applications have an about window, and basically it might show a logo for the product, and it's going to have a disclaimer. It might show the version number or the current release number for the product, that sort of thing. It's a real simple thing to create, so let's look at doing that. Currently, we're displaying where we left off in part 18, and we had completed the functionality for allowing a user to change their own password. And I just brought this up before I hit the record button. And you can see in this tab, once again, it's showing the My Application unit as having changed, and I haven't changed a thing. If I hit Control S, it goes away. If I start this application up again, if I close it down and start it back up again, that's going to show that it's changed. All right, so we need to create a new form, and we're getting kind of cluttered here. We've got a lot of units open, and you can close these. So I'm going to close a few. Let's close the user change tab and the user delete tab. I don't think we'll be looking at password evaluation this time around. And we're not going to be looking at the file IO unit. So we can close a few things here to give us some room to play around. Okay, let's create our new form. So you go over to File, and you click on New Form, and bingo. There's our new form. And we're going to call this My Application About. So the first thing I'm going to change on this form is the title in the top title bar here. Got to get my cheaters on. So that is considered the caption. So we come over here to the caption for this form, and we just put in My Application About, and hit enter. And there's our new title. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay. Now, what kind of stuff are we going to put in here? Let's see what we got. Let's see, we've got additional stuff. Okay, if we want to put an image in here, we would click that, And then we would click in here. And there's a place to put an image. And let's see, what else would we want? Well, we want to have our, we want to say my application. Now we could use a label for that. We could do that. So let's try that. We'll just plunk a little label here, and we'll move it. And this label is set to auto size. We're going to get rid of that. And let's drag this across here. And drag it down a little bit. I mean, I don't know how big we're going to make this tile. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And let's change the alignment in it. We're going to change that to center. Okay. And now we're going to change the caption in that label. And that's going to be now my application. Okay, that's centered. Now let's do something with the font, because that's kind of tiny. So we come over here to font. And it's sans serif, which means it has no serifs. So it's kind of like a Helvetica font. Let's change the font size. So this little scroll bar lets you scroll through and pick a font size. How? That might be too big. Let's try 16. That might be right. About 16. Okay, and we could make it bold. I don't like bold. Let's click OK. Okay, now it says my application a little bigger. Maybe, I don't know, maybe bold would work. I don't know. I guess we can try it. I guess it doesn't look that bad. Okay. Now we can also do, let's see, can we do the actual font color? You'll notice over here we've got color, but that's the background color. It's not the color of the font. I don't think we can do the font color. No, I don't think we can. Well, I guess that's good enough for now. We're going to change the layout though, because you'll notice that my application is plastered up near the top of the box, and I want that to be in the middle. So you go down here to the layout property and you click center. There we go. So that's that. And you can, of course, you can take these handles and you can adjust that. But, you know, leave a little room. So our image. I did some horsing around with the image. I took the default image that Lazarus creates, and I I used the GIMP editor, photo editor, and I reduced the number of pixels, height and width, to 127 pixels. So I don't know if that's going to work here or not. So you go down to images. We're going to pick an image, right? And I have none. Now, where do I get the image from? There's a way of plunking the image in here. I haven't done this in forever. Picture. The property contains the dimensions, the format, and the data for the image. Load the image dialog. Okay. Okay, this is the one right here. You see, I made it, I made it 128 by 128 pixels. So you just pick it. And then, I don't know if you can use icon. Can you use icon? See, icon is 256 by 256. And I created this one. Let's try the one I did and see how it looks in here. I'll click OK. Oh, that's big, see? And I reduced it. So I can drag that out. Now I'll see if I can do something like center it. I'm actually, yeah, I got to move this over a bit. Okay. Go back to this and drag it over. Now that's just touching. Now can I center that? Let's go to align. Well, I can do top, I can do right, I can do left. But there's no center on that, is there? I don't know if I like that. Well, you're not going to see this border. You're not going to see, I don't think you're going to see this line here. That's just outlining the image boundaries right now. Yeah. So I don't think that's a problem. Here's child sizing. Got to select this. There's the image index. Let's see. We used picture to load this. So it's actually, this is actually loaded into a data element, I think. You know, it's actually stored in the source code somewhere. Okay. You see here it says stretch right here. And it has stretch in, stretch out enabled. What if I click this? Ah, okay. So now if I move this box, it's going to automatically make it, see, I can scrunch it that way. So what's the size of this box right now? The height is 128. And the width, ooh, that should be 128, right? So we better make that 128. Okay. Now it's square. All right. All right. So we're getting there. Pull that back a little bit now. And this shows that the top of this box is aligned with the top of that image. That's good. Okay, what else are we going to put in here? We probably put some kind of disclaimer. We definitely are going to have the version number, right? We're going to have like what release it is, something like that. That could either be, that could be a date or it could be a version number. I don't like version numbers. I prefer dates. So I think that's what we're just going to do. Now, where are we going to store that date? That's the question. Do we store it in this, do we store it in here, or do we store it with the main application? Maybe we ought to not store it in this about unit. We probably ought to put that in the main unit back here in unit my app, and then we'll make it global and just display it in here. Let's oh, we didn't name this form, did we? Let's name this form. So I just clicked on the form, and we got a name, and it's currently form 1. And we're going to change that name. That's going to be lowercase f, indicating that it is a form. Let's get rid of the rest of that. Delete that. It's a form, and it's going to be about. This is the about screen. So now that's the name of the form. And we're going to rename the unit as well. So let's go back to the source code editor, and let's change the name of the unit. And that's going to be U about. Get rid of the rest of that. Okay, so now it's U about, and excuse me. Good. Now my application over here has changed because this is the main app. If I go to save this right now, I'm going to save this unit. So that's a Control S, right? It says, is this the name you want to use? I say, yes, save it. And now it's going to bring up the main code and flag it as changed. It flagged it as changed because when I added the new form and its associated unit, it automatically added the name of the unit in this list. But now I have changed the name of the unit to U about, and it's flagging this because it's saying, well, something's changed here. You need to fix this. So that's what we need to do. Instead of unit 1, this is now going to be U, and then the name of it is about, right? It's unit about. And we're over the edge of our source code boundary. So we need to wrap this line just like that. All right. So when the application starts up, it is going to create this form right here. All right. All right. Now let's go back to our source code for about. Okay, and we've added those two components to our form. Let's take a look at the form. And we have this component, and its name is image1. I'm going to call that IMG for image, and I'm going to call that the about logo. Okay. All right, and this is a label. And I'm going to call that, I'm going to give that LBL for label. And I'm going to say this is the about title. Okay, that's what that is now. All right, that's some progress. Now I think we'll have also another label like this right below. So I can just take this, select this box, right click on it, say copy, click on the form where I want the new box to be plunked, and then say paste. And now it's cloned it, but it's no longer the about title. We're going to, the name of this is going to be this is going to be label, and we're going to call this release date. Okay. And we'll probably go with a different font here. It shouldn't be as big as the title. So we'll come back up here to our fonts. And we're going to make it smaller. And we're not going to make it bold anymore. It's going to be regular. And we're going to say OK to that. Now I don't know if we want to, I guess we don't need to make that any smaller. But the text that's in here, we're going to pull that from somewhere else. We're not going to just fill that in statically. It's going to be dynamically changed. So this caption, we're going to get rid of that. Okay. And we call this label release date. So we're going to, in our main unit, the first unit, we're going to put a global string constant in here that will have the release date. And then this window will use that to display in here. So let's go to our first application unit, and let's see what we got here. Okay, well we can actually make it a public. We could make it a public variable. Do I want to do that? I guess I could. Any variable that's outside of implementation is global. I could just put it here too. You could do that. Call it release date. Let's call it let's call it the str release date, like that. And it's a string, and it's equal to some value. So we could give it today's date, and that's the 9th. So we can spell it out. We can do like January 9, 2025. Okay. And then in our about unit, we would just put string release date. I think it's available. We do have to reference unit my application though to make it available. So inside of implementation, right, we'll have a uses clause, home, and it says using. Is it using or uses? Uses. And then we're going to say unit my application. So it makes any global variables that are declared in my application now available in this unit, is what that does. Okay? So we're going to fill that in when it's displayed. So we bring the form up, click the form, and then we go over here to events, and we're going to have the on-show event right here. Here's the on-show event, which I just created by double-clicking in that box. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to take label release. I better learn how to spell release date dot, and that's going to be a caption. So that's CAP, caption. And that's going to be equal to our variable from over here in my application, the unit my application. And that's just going to be this right here. So I'll hit Control-C to copy it. And I'll come over to About. And I'm already positioned where I want to be and hit Control-V. And now that's set. So the caption will get set. when this form is shown. Now, when is the form shown? Well, it's going to have to be, we're going to have to change our menu. Now, we could have help up here, and then within help we could have, when you click that, you get a little drop-down menu that has about in it. Or we can just have about. And I don't have help set up, or I'm not doing it yet. So for now, let's just add another menu item, which we just did. And that menu item caption, well, the name of that menu item, it's going to be menu about. So let's fix that. Get rid of this, and let's call this menu about. Okay, like that. And then the caption is just going to be about, right? So we'll get rid of the menu part. Okay. So we're done editing our menu. We can close this. And now, if we click about, we're going to get our about window will display. So how do we do that? Well, we click about. Do I double click it? Huh. Isn't that interesting? Is there an event now for that? Oh, here's on-click event. Okay. There we go. And now we're going to put in our unit name. No, our form name, which is just, what did I give the form name? The form name is, is it F about? Let's go back, look at our form. Look at the name. The name is, drum roll, F about. Okay, so it's F about. So this is going to be F about dot show modal. That's it. That will display the form. All right. Let's do that. All right. That's all we need. That's all we need. Now, do I need to add a, so I need to add you about in here in the uses clause, otherwise it's not going to have access to it. So I'll just stick it on the end here, and we'll just put in you about, and that now gives it, gives this access to it. All right. So I guess what we could do is we can give this a shot. Let's see if what we've got done here will compile. Run this. It does. And I've forgotten. Is it admin? Do we still have admin? ADMIN. And it's ADMIN_12345. Is that right? Click log on. Yes. Okay, now we have about in our menu, right? If I click it, there it is. So our about screen is taking shape, right? We got our title. It pulled the release date from the main unit. Got our logo displayed. We're making progress, and you just use the little X in the upper right corner to close it, and we're golden. Exit and get out, and we should not be running at this point. We're not. Okay, good. All right, let's continue on. We're back at our about thing. Let's bring the form up. Now, usually there would be a disclaimer. And can we use a label? Well, can you use a label to do multiple lines? I don't remember if you could do that. Let's see. It says you can do word wrap. I wonder if we could just use a big label. We're not going to have a lot of, I wonder if we're going to have control over that. In other words, I wonder if I use carriage turn line feeds in the text, if it will wrap that way, or is it just going to, I guess the only way we're going to find out is to do it, right? I could use a panel. You know, I guess, no, I don't know. I could use a memo. I could use a memo box too. You see that? I could take this memo box and I could populate it too. I wonder what I should do here. Excuse me. Maybe you should try a memo box. So I'll click that and I'll put it here on the form. And we will stretch it here to be the proper width. Yeah, I guess that lines up. Yeah, let's just take it over to the edge. We'll do that here too. We'll just take this one, grab the, take it to the edge. Oh, now that's not lining up with the thing on the bottom there. Why isn't that snapping to the one on the bottom? Will this snap? Come on. This is really touchy. My mouse is touchy. There we go. That snap. Oh, it is lined up. That's weird. Okay. It isn't lined up with this now. Oh, there we go. Kind of strange the way that's working, isn't it? So if I want to put Now, can I do, yeah, I can align in here too. In other words, right now it's got this a default caption in here. Well, it's not a caption, actually. They don't call it caption. It's not called caption. It's called lines. It's called lines. So if you open this, if you open up lines over here by clicking this, you see that's the text that's in there right now, right? It says memo 1 right here. So you can populate it by actually hard coding the strings in here, the lines. So if I hit clear, right, and then I click OK, now it's empty. So I could actually go in here and bring text in here for like a license agreement and a disclaimer. Let's bring up the browser. I'll use Firefox just for grins. Yeah, start a new session. I don't care. Okay, I want let's see. I want GPL text. GPL. Come on, Larry. Okay. Text. Okay, here's the GNU public license. That's an oldie, isn't it? Well, if I click on this, will I get? This is the Wikipedia page. I don't want that. This is the open source initiative. Let's see if we got some text here. Excuse me. Okay, this is the GNU General Public License version 3. Okay. All right. Now, okay, so we have terms and conditions, definitions. I don't want the definitions. I want the license verbiage. I want to take some of it and just plunk it in here and see what it looks like. You may not propagate or modify a covered work. Patents. Here we go. Here we go. So in other words, I can take this. I can just take this text, right? And I'll hit Control Insert to copy it to my clipboard. And then I'll come back over here to this, and I'll use Shift Insert, right? And wow. Okay, that's one continuous line. So do I have the ability to wrap a line here? Let's see. Well, I'm going to click OK for this right now. Oh, look at there. It did it. All right. It wrapped it for me. So there we go. Right? You know, there's a disclaimer. If I go back to Firefox, there's the limitation of liability. So I can actually grab all of that, right? And I'll hit Control Insert to grab that. And then I'll go back over here to our form. I got to put this down right now. Okay. And then I got to bring up our form. And I want to edit this again, so we're back to strings, right? So I go to the end of the line, which is where my little blinking cursor is right now, and I hit Enter twice. And now I can do a Shift Insert, and it adds all that text for, I think that's limited liability. And I hit Save. No, I don't want to hit Save. Cancel that. I just want to hit OK. And now I've got a lot of text here. All right. So now we have all this text. Now, do I have the ability to center it? Currently, alignment is none, and it's left justified. Let's make this centered. There we go. Bingo. Now we can go back to our, what was the description of this? This is called the disclaimer. And this is limitation of liability. So we can add those. We can add those to our, I can add those words, in other words. So what I can do is I can go back to our lines, and the first one is, what did I say the first one was? Getting old. Can't remember things. The disclaimer of warranty is the first one. So what I can do is I can go to the beginning of that line, hit Enter, and I can put in here something that kind of set it off. So it'll be like disclaimer of warranty, ... asterisk, asterisk, and then I'll come down here to the next one. And I think this is the limitation of liability. So I'll just add that, right? Limitation of liability. And a couple dots, asterisks. There we go. Now you can see it's kind of taking shape here. All right. So this is static text, which I guess is okay. You can actually populate a memo box at runtime. There's a way of doing that. I'm not going to go through it right now, but it can be done, and it's not that difficult. It's you read it from a file, or you could do it. You could actually hard code the strings into the unit, and then you could read them and load them into the memo when the on the show event. You could do that. So this is our let's I'm going to add, you can close this by just clicking this X up here. It's kind of nice though if you add a little button at the bottom that says close. So let's just stick a little button down here, and we'll call it close. So it's currently selected. The name of it is what? I got to give it a name. So this is just going to be BTN close is the name, and the caption for the button is going to be just close like that. And when you click it, it's just going to close the window. So it's just close. How easy is that? Okay, well, let's run our application again and see what it looks like. Okay, and we're the admin. And it's admin underscore 1234. You got to click log on. We click our about, and here we go. So we've added an about window to our application today. And I'm not going to go too much further. You've seen how it works. It's real easy to do. You can add logos, titles. You can pull data from other forms. And it's very simple. Typically, you would see in here, you'd have the URL for the free the FOSS Foundation, where they could actually pull in the entire license. You could make a reference. You could say that the GPL for this code can be found at this URL, blah blah blah, and provide that. See if our close button works. It does. Excellent. We're cruising. Well, that's it for this time. I think you can see how easy it is to add something like that. And that what took us, I don't think that even took us a half an hour, did it? At any rate, we're done. So, as usual, if you found this information I'm supplying useful, you learned something, give me a like. And if you want to see more of this content, subscribe. And if you have any comments about the code or anything, send me a comment down below. And as usual, I will provide all the source code for this entire project at a Google Drive link, and you can grab everything we've got here and you can compile it and use it yourself. So until next time, goodbye and have a nice day.